All right, I want to start by giving all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah Kwadash. Double honor to the elders and the apostles and teachers and wise men of Great Millstone that I learned this truth from through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Salutations out there to the elect. All right, I want to do a quick lesson going into that traffic stop that went viral about this guy who was punched in the face by a cop. You know, he had his window busted out, as you can see right there. This so-called black man, and he was punched in the face and pulled out his car by cops. All right, before I get started, let's start with this. Before I play the video, Salakia, let's start right here in Baruch 3, verse 8. Yes, this is the book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 8. And this is to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This is what you need to understand. All right. Verse 8, it says, "Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity." You see? Because the Lord, he scattered us, you know, in times of old. And we haven't been gathered yet. We won't be gathered together until Yahweh Shai comes, you know, and save us. Yahweh Shai, who people ignorantly call Jesus Christ. So we are yet this day in our captivity. We're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And, you know, mainly in Babylon the Great, which is America. It says, we are yet this day in our captivity. Salakia, we are yet this day in our captivity. It says, where thou hast scattered us. You see, the Lord scattered us. It says, for a reproach and a curse, because that scattering was a part of the curses. The curses of what? Deuteronomy. Because we broke the covenant, we disobeyed the word of the Lord. It says, for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments. You see, that's why you got your rent payments, your light payments, your light bill, water bill, this bill, that bill, insurances, you know, etc. You say you're subject to payments in captivity. It says, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, you see. So the Lord put us in captivity because of the wickedness of our doings and of our fathers. It says, which departed from the Lord our God, you see. So you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you 12 tribes, you know, those you Israelites out there that are part of the 12 tribes, you need to understand that you are in captivity. You see, you're at a low estate because of your own wickedness and your own doings. So when you come into contact with law enforcement, like this so-called black person, which seems to be from the tribe of Judah, this is what you also need to understand. Let's read this scripture right here in Matthew, then I'll play the video. This is Matthew 5, verse 25. It says, agree with thy adversary quickly while thou art in the way with him, lest at any time thou adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. You see? And when you watch the video, you're going to notice that he didn't agree with the adversary quickly. If you watch the entire video, he should have just agreed, you see? But in the end, he was charged. All right, let's play the video.
Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands. Here.
Tonight on the 10 o'clock news, a Jacksonville Sheriff's Office traffic stop going viral with a
So like it's going to play.
million views and climbing on social media. Now we see all the angles of the interaction.
I'm about to break the window. Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands.
JSO releasing body camera footage from each of the three officers who were involved in the incident, which is now drawing national attention. After roughly 4 minutes of asking William McNeil Jr. to get out of his car, officers smashed through the window, pulled him out of the car, and pinned him to the ground, telling that driver to stop resisting. The viral traffic stop now prompting questions of drivers' legal rights and demands of transparency from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office.
This incident happened back in February, but McNeil just posted the video on social media this past weekend. Sheriff T.K. Waters says an internal department investigation into the officer's conduct is underway. A violent altercation that all began when police noticed McNeil's headlights weren't on. News4Jax reporter Eric Avignon joining us live in studio tonight. Eric, you have more on everything that's happening here.
Yeah, so we just found out today that encounter between Will McNeil Jr. and Officer Donald Bowers, again, it happened back in February, but Sheriff T.K. Waters announced today that he didn't know about it until someone had told him about that cell phone video that was posted onto social media. He said he ordered an immediate investigation into the matter.
Jay should have just complied. You see, let's read it again. This is Matthew 5 and 25. It says, agree with thy adversary quickly. You should have just agreed. If you watch the entire video, he asked question after question. He even said, let me get a supervisor. And when he talked to, I guess, a supervisor or another officer, he kept, it's like I lost my train of thought. He kept wanting to know why he was pulled over instead of just complying. It says, while thou art in the way with him, you see, he should have just complied. He said, let's say anytime the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. And he was taken to prison. Well, to jail, not prison, but to jail. So he should have agreed with his adversary. So you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans need to understand that these heathens, these other nations, they're your adversaries. They're looking for any reason to do you harm. Read Psalms 83. Start at verse 1. You're going to find out that all these nations, all these other nations, these heathen nations, they are confederate against you. You see? So he should have just agreed to get out the car.
This is the cell phone video that has since gone viral after it was posted onto social media.
Exit the vehicle!
You just saw 22-year-old Will McNeil Jr. being punched in the face by JSO officer Donald Bowers during a traffic stop. Now, here is the newly released body cam video showing how it all began.
Yes, sir. Is there a reason why you're popping the door open like that?
I don't have a window that works. Is there a reason that you're pulling me over?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why I'm pulling you over. For one thing, inclement weather, you don't have your lights on. Two things, you're not wearing your seatbelt.
It's daylight. I don't need the lights. And it's not weather. It's not raining.
Oh, this isn't inclement?
It's not raining.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you why I'm pulling you over. Give me your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
No, call your supervisor. Why?
Excuse me?
Call your supervisor. Why did you pull me over?
37, 35. I've already told you.
Why did you pull me over?
Step out of the vehicle.
No,
Step out of the vehicle.
Moments later, after more cops show up, Officer Bowers' body cam records what happens next.
Exit the vehicle now! Exit the vehicle! Show me your hands. Here.
Destination 1033 at 1621 hours.
What is your reason, sir? Step out. What is your reason? Step out now. Get on the ground. No, don't freak out. Get on the ground. Put your hands behind your back. Resist. Hands behind your back.
McNeil pled guilty to driving on a suspended license and resisting arrest without violence. Sheriff T.K. Waters says this encounter...
You see, Jake, you should have just complied. You should have just agreed to get out the car. You made your situation worse. All right, let's read this scripture. This is Ecclesiasticus, which is the book of Sirach and the Apocrypha. 9, verse 13. It says, keep me far from the man that have power to kill. You see, he's lucky that those officers didn't shoot him or unalive him. It says, so shall thou not doubt the fear of death. But if thou come unto him, make no fault. You see, he made a fault by not getting out of the car, not agreeing with his adversary, not agreeing with those cops. It says, make no fault, lest he take away thy life presently. And luckily, his life wasn't taken away presently. It says, remember that thou goest in the midst of snares, and that thou walkest amongst the battlements of the city. You see? Going back to Baruch 3 and 8. You see? We are yet this day in our captivity. You see? You walk in the midst of snares and amongst the battlements of the city. Why? Because you are yet this day in your captivity, Jake. Going back to Baruch 3 and 8, just like I just said. Salakia. All right. Let's continue the video, then I'll end the lesson.
Could have been prevented if McNeil had not resisted arrest, but what about this punch to the face as seen in the cell phone video?
Was it appropriate for the officer to punch this guy in the jaw after he'd already broken the window? Was that yes or no? Was that appropriate?
It depends on the circumstances. But it's already determined it's not criminal. Now we're going to look for JSO policy violations. How about that? Is that good?
Well, if a civilian did that to another civilian, they would be in handcuffs.
No, not necessarily. It depends on the circumstances, the situation.
I asked that same question to civil rights attorney John Burris. If his name sounds familiar, it should. He represented Rodney King in court after King was seen on video being beaten by Los Angeles police officers during a traffic stop. Burris has no affiliation.
All right, I'm going to end the lesson here. All right, I'm going to end the lesson here. You see? It's like it. I'm going to end the lesson here. This Jake should have just complied with the officer and got out of his car. But he made his situation worse. All right, I'll end the lesson here. All praises to the Yahweh by Shem Yahushua by Shem Rakakwadash. All right, Shalom.